Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Aslan Hajavandi. I'm Director of Digital Media for Warchant.com, the ultimate Seminoles sports source. That over there, that's Michael Langston. He's recruiting analyst for Warchant.com, the ultimate Seminoles sports source. It's only $10 to find this information out hours ago over on the premium recruiting board, but you're here now, so that's fine. Subscribe to our YouTube page. It's totally free. What else can they do to show some love, Michael?
Hit the like button always. FSU gets back on the field this Saturday at noon against Georgia Tech. So already got a big official visitor. So certainly hit the like button, guys, so we can continue to promote these kind of features for you.
Hmm. We used to have a little thing that said hit the like button. We can't find
Yeah.
it. It's okay, though. All right, so we're here to talk about offensive line recruiting. News on Monday night. Rod Kearney out of Orange Park High School, longtime Florida State commitment, has flipped to the University of Florida down in Gainesville. Michael, what do you think led to this decision for Roderick?
Yeah, I mean it's been a weird recruitment overall. I mean, for people to kind of give a kind of a background of this, committed to Florida State seconds after he took his official visit to Florida, called the Florida staff fake, said they were very fake, and I didn't really like that. And then he committed to FSU. Then during this, once the season started, um, the word I was getting is that FSU is pretty critical of what they were seeing from Rod on the field. They just didn't like what they were doing. Then a week later, he visits for a few games to Florida. Then it's like, okay, it's full blown. Now you got a battle. Then he visited FSU one time. Then later, last weekend, officially visited FSU. And the thing is, they seem to feel comfortable that, hey, we got it back in a more comfortable stage, and then came back home, and then tonight here we are Monday night, decommitted from Florida State, went to Florida. I think it was always a plan that this is a possibility to happen, as we pointed out in our thing we did with Rod over there in Orange Park, that he grew up a Florida fan. It's clear his mom also liked Florida, so I'm sure those things played into it. Also, Florida coveted him, I think, a little bit more, especially with the way the field on the play was going, coveted more in the NIL department. But I think it's also just one of those things that maybe he felt more of a priority to Florida, or maybe he just felt a connection that was more there. Like I said, he it did not make him feel good when I think FSU was clear, like, hey, we need to see more from you on the field, and they weren't seeing that. So I think that kind of started this, but we know the way Atkins is, just because you're playing good and just because you're committed doesn't mean you're just going to be able to keep doing what you're doing. So I think those are some of the things. And then I reached out to a few FSU contacts, and the way they worded it was like weird recruitment. They said, so that basically told me like they got some indications that they felt like, hey, this was in a better situation going into Monday, and so I think at some point they were a little surprised, but I think other thing is kind of like they knew it was going to be a battle. So no matter what they did this weekend, they knew it was still going to be a battle until he signs. But I think they felt like they were in a little more comfortable situation after that official visit. So just a weird recruitment overall. Like I said, calling the Florida staff fake and then coming back to them and saying, "Oh, I like the coaches." It's like it was a lot of weirdness going on even after it was over. I don't think he's the guy that FSU is going to continue to go after. I think certainly after this, I think they're going to move on, in my opinion, unless something changes that I haven't heard. But that's kind of the gist of what I'm getting behind the scenes as far as this recruitment, how it kind of fluctuated back to Florida.
All right, that takes a bit of a knock to Florida State's recruiting class when it comes
Yeah.
to rankings, but
Yep.
Lucas Simmons obviously still in the fold, and
Yep.
Alex Atkins and Mike Norvell always got plans and irons in the fire. Looks like they've already got another target. They maybe not a swap, but they're still focusing on bringing an offensive lineman in this class. What do you
Yep.
know about the latest target on their radar?
Yeah, there's two that are kind of on my mind. Certainly, the kid they just offered. I meant we talked about that before we went on the show. Keyshawn Blackstock. He's originally from around the Atlanta, Georgia area. I think you told me Covington.
Yeah.
Goes to Coffeyville. He's the number one guard in the country. I think Oregon's the team that I hear the most buzz about. I think he has over around 60 offers. So that's certainly a guy they're pushing for. Another guy they're really high on that camped at FSU is Christopher Otto. We watched him a little bit at the showcase. He was very good, very powerful, plays with a big time mean streak. He would fit right into that center position at FSU. Like, he has more size than Roderick. Certainly doesn't have the fan favorite as far as the ranking, but he's a guy that I know. I've even told people on the PRB throughout the year that he's a guy that FSU is very high on. Atkins is extremely high on this kid. Otto's already told me even last week that that's a place he definitely wants to take an official visit to. So I think those two guys off the top are certainly high up there. We know DJ Chester, a 4-star guard, is certainly another uncommitted target they like a lot. So I think there's going to be more. And yes, they've had a plan. I mean, they've known for several months that, hey, this could happen. So now they can kind of focus on what is in front of them. But those are some of the guys I think they're very high on.
There you go. Florida State's still in the top 20 on the on-3 team rankings. They're 17th.
Yep.
They've got 53% blue chip commitments, so they're kind of bit on pace there to have a good sort of season recruiting, and then we'll see how things go as we hit November and some of these other big games loom. Miami, Florida, these games can always change the fortunes of your program.
Absolutely.
Right, Michael?
Absolutely. And they were 16th, I think, and now they're 17th. Certainly, it's a loss. It's a 4-star. Anytime you lose a 4-star, it's a loss. Depends on how much you value that. I didn't hear much more about how if Kearney had improved his play, but certainly anytime you use a 4-star, it's going to affect, and fans are going to be down on it. But I kind of wanted to give the background stuff. But yes, there's still plenty of time. You have Florida on your schedule. You have Miami on your schedule. You have this Georgia Tech game. You have a big game on the road against Syracuse, which really can shift people as far as recruiting. And if they win out in this year, you're talking about a 9-3 season going into the bowl where you'd have a chance for a 10-win season if you win every game, which is not out of the realm of possibility. So certainly, I think they have a plan. I think they're gonna move forward and go from here. But Lucas Simmons, you mentioned him briefly. He put out a tweet, said we're still locked in, no nation. So this is definitely an isolated incident as far as the recruitment. Like I said, it's a weird recruitment. There's a lot of different things you could pull either way from it, but that was also good to see if you're worried about kind of the offensive line recruiting and just the way other people feel. But I think from a whole, I think they still feel very good about what they're doing at FSU, what Atkins and Norvell are doing. Certainly, we know Atkins is going to be a coveted coach, so that's not exactly a secret. He's a very good coach, so we know schools are going to possibly. I'm sure that came into the picture with Kearney as well. That, hey, this dude's going to leave, man. Why would you want to be there? So I'm sure that's been brought in, but I think everything else from a recruiting standpoint is it's been solid momentum building up to this weekend. Certainly a massive game this weekend against Georgia Tech. You need to get back in the fold after losing 3 in a row, and then that sets up that big Miami game the following week. So it's there for them. Obviously, they just have to get back to doing what they've been doing to start the season. But I think this is more. I don't think this is a reflection to what they've done during the season or anything negative as far as the product. I think it's more just an isolated thing. Both some football, some just priority wise the way Roderick feels.
There you go. Roderick Kearney, the number 66 overall prospect in the 2023 class, scoring to on-3. Again, flips from Florida State to Florida. The Noles moving into action, though, coveting Christopher Otto as well as Keyshawn Blackshear. These players on their radar. So we'll have plenty more over on the PRB. That's the premium recruiting board, warchant.com, the ultimate Seminole sports source. So hit the thumbs up on the way out. We certainly would appreciate it. And Michael will catch you over at the PRB, right, Michael?
Anytime, my man. I'll be on there all the time. So I've already the story's already posted on there. Certainly this video will be put up in a little bit, so I'm sure it'll be up there. Kind of you can get my thoughts, guys, and just keep checking. If you got questions, with anything, pop in there. I'm always there.
Apologies, it's Keyshawn Blackstock. Sorry,
there
Keyshawn. Hold it against me, not the coaching staff. I'm not on the staff. For Michael, I'm Aslan. Thanks for watching this edition of Warchant TV. Stay connected to warchant.com.